really great to see a lot of familiar faces and some new opportunity to meet with you. I had some friends of mine ask me, well, what is a field day? Because I think a field day, I don't know how long we've used that terminology, field day, when it comes to ranches and farms and so forth, but really it's an open house. And so today we're going to kind of just be totally transparent as much as we can.
Hey, Brian.
Hopefully you enjoyed the walking tour. We do have 3 other ranches in this area where we have the majority of our cattle, and we just brought in what we thought would be something to show you. So some of our donor cows are here, our gray donors, red donors. Some of our herd bulls are actually out working right now, so we were not able to bring all those to you. And then, of course, being the National Show Week, our show cattle are there in Rosenberg, so be more than happy to show you guys our show cattle if you go over to the Fort Bend County Fairgrounds. Somebody said, well, why are you having it on Thursday during the middle of the week? Well, if you haven't been able to, if you haven't heard, this is the week of the National Brahman Show, and so they've asked us to have it. I understand there was a good turnout last night at Hudgens, and I think it ran maybe a little bit late for some people, and so I knew that maybe this morning would be kind of difficult for some people to get here. Some of the vendors and so forth that we have, and we'll talk about that, are actually people that we use ourselves, and we'll go over that. So.
Hey, Nancy.
People ask us, well, who do you use for this, and who do you buy your feed from? Who do you buy different things from? And so we just invited everyone in here. Who does your advertising? And so we're going to share that with you also today. This is my wife, Gayla Colors. If give her a big round of applause. She has worked. She's got list on top of list on top of list to make this deal happen. And I'll tell you, I think Sloan Williams told me years ago, he said, every 5 or 6 years a person ought to have a field day because you'll clean up. And we have cleaned up and thrown away things that we thought we needed, but, and it's still not perfect, but this is a working ranch, so hopefully you'll bear with us. I've got my mother here, Frances Colors. She's probably in the back. But she's responsible for really all of this. She's a descendant of J.D. Hudgens, and Gayla's going to talk about that just a little bit. My dad's at a bank meeting, but he was here for the last 2 days putting out hay and doing different things for us, so I appreciate him as well. I think we'll first start, we'll talk about our family history. We've had some people come in here recently, and Gayla, you want to start there, and we'll talk a little bit about that, then I'll move on over to the cattle side of it.
Sure. We are glad you're here. And if you see something that is undone, then come on. Just do it, because it was on a list somewhere and it just didn't get there. Help yourself. We always assume that everybody knows our story, knows who we are and what we do and why we do it. But we figured out about 5 years ago that some of that generation didn't really know our history and our background. So we took it upon ourselves to kind of go back and revisit some of those old stories and generations past, and we wanted to just give you a little overview of, in case you don't know where we've been. This is the lady that started it all. This is Rachel Ann Northington. So Rachel Ann was born in Virginia a long time ago, and she was one of the original settlers to this part of Texas. She came over with Stephen F. Austin during the period of land grants, and when this country was still governed by Spain. She was an amazing woman. The things that she saw. She was involved in the Texas fight for independence. Right down the road, I don't know if you saw when you exited to come here, there was a sign for Spanish Camp. The reason that's called Spanish Camp, that's where the Army camped out. So as they were coming closer, her father was in charge of getting all the women and children across the Brazos River, which you came across if you came from Sugar Land, a time called the Runaway Scrape. Texas people, heard of Runaway Scrape? My friend Kathy's in the back. She taught Texas history, so I know she knows about Runaway Scrape. She was 14 years old, and she was in charge of getting those babies on a wagon away from the armies when they fought. We even have letters from her that document that she could hear the cannon fire at the Battle of San Jacinto.
Hey, Garrett.
She was involved very deeply in the birth of Texas as a nation, and then also as a state. These are her 4 sons that she had when she came here. You might recognize one of them. Anybody know the famous son? He was the second born. Bill. I know Bill is here. Bill is talking. Bill, Rachel Ann Northington's second born son was Josiah Hudgens. J.D. Hudgens was the second son. When Rachel Ann's first husband died, he left in his will that she was to sell all of her land, all of her cattle. She was supposed to sell the lumber mill. She was supposed to get out of Wharton County because we have mosquitoes and people were dying. And he said, you know what, we have land in Washington County. That's where you're going to go. He passed away, and she said, yeah, I don't think so. She was the original woman entrepreneur. She started it. She got her husband, Josiah, J.D., to run all of her land, her son, J.D., to run all of her land operations. He was in charge of her cattle, and you guys know exactly where that has led to. This is a picture of J.D., his wife Molly, and their 4 surviving children. In those days, there were a lot of babies that maybe didn't make it to this stage. This became the original J.D. Hudgens partnership. Pictured here, you're going to see the oldest child is Eola Border. She became the first recording secretary of the American Diamond Breeders Association, which was right here in Hanford. Second oldest child, Walter Hudgens. Third oldest child is the lady that we really enjoy talking about. This is Ethel, who married James Ferguson. Is Meemaw in the back? She is busy. This was Judd's mother's grandmother. She's the tall one in the hat right there on the side. So Ethel Ferguson is there. The youngest child was Lillian Davidson. Neither Eola nor Lillian had any children of their own. Walter and Ethel, between the 2 of them, had 5 children. Walter had Edgar Hudgens, Janie,
Hey, Kat.
Eleanor Locke. Ethel Ferguson had Lanier Ferguson and Martha Coombs. Those became your 5 divisions of J.D. Hudgens Incorporated. Here, we like to talk about the ladies because, as you can see, we like to start with Rachel Ann. Yeah, we like J.D. Hudgens a lot.
Sorry.
We like him as well. But then we fall really quick to Ethel and Martha. On the far right is Martha and Temple Coombs. In the middle, the newlywed is Jed's mother, Frances, and Ed Cullens. And on the left are Ed's parents. You know the big house that's right by the J.D. Hudgens show barn? The big brick house. If you went to the party last night, you probably drove past it and saw it there. That was the house built by Ethel Ferguson, J.D. Hudgens' daughter. Next lived in by Martha. And that is where Jed's mother, Frances, grew up. Anybody know who these 3 beauties are? There's Judd and his 2 sisters, Julie and Joy. two children of Julie that are here. Clayton Bridges. Where's Clayton Bridges? Clayton.
He's in the back.
There he is. And Kaylee. So these are our niece and nephew, Kaylee and Clayton. Their mother is Julie, Judd's sister. Judd's middle sister, Joy, lives in the Dallas area.
Hey, Janice.
They're
Hey,
not really
Marcus.
involved in the ranch in here in Rutherford anymore. And then there's Judd.
So moving on to the cattle side of this ranch, again, our foundation was the division of Coots Colors Division. That's the division that if you look at the animal on their left shoulder, they'll have a T, a block T. And at that time, my dad, Ed Colors, was the manager for that division, I guess, for almost 30 years. This is one of the sires that he produced. This is JDH Union Manso 455/3.
Click.
Is it not there? One more click.
There we go.
How about we're right there?
We are.
You know what? This is my first time to use this program. And I wasn't going to say that out loud, but I just did.
And now everybody knows.
Thank you. SG, how you doing? Welcome. So this Union Bull, I guess if you've been around Brahman very long, you'll notice that he's been responsible for a lot of really good bulls, but I think females is probably his biggest contributor to the Brahman breed. Milking EPDs are off the chart, as well as fertility and performance. We've got a bull that we're kind of proud of. We'll call Maddox, Manso 684, and this bull will come from Maddox will come from this bull's line. Another bull at that time was the Bros Manso 949/2. At one time, J.D. Hudgens bought a maroon
Hey, Neil.
bred bull, 433. And I think Coleman Locke and my dad, and maybe several others there at Hudgens, bred the 433 maroon bull, and he produced the 310 Super Couch bull for Locke Division, the 204 bull, and then this 949/2 Frost Manso that really added a lot of muscle expression to the cattle. You can see him there in pasture shape, just a lot of spike, a lot of coral on this bull. So a lot of muscle and performance. Here's the bull Braxton Manso 78/4. This bull is very influential in our herd today. Some of the notable bulls that you might know are the Oku bull, 936. He would go back to Braxton, as well as the Cavalier 700 bull. This is a Risotto Alante. This is when, at that time, with some pigmentation, a lot of people were looking for pigmentation, and really reached out and grabbed this bull, the 493/1 bull. Again, didn't have Photoshop back in those days. Right now, you'd probably tilt that photo and level him up a little bit. But this was just probably taken out of the driver's side window of my dad's pickup. But anyway, it's what we've got. And this was a really good bull. This is the 601 Atari bull. He was champion in Houston back in 1984. Really a large size bull. The frame size of Brahman cattle has changed tremendously. This bull would have probably weighed close to 3,000 pounds when he was fat. Probably framed about a 9 or 10. And again, he's been influential in this herd as well as others around the world. And then this is the kind of a more current bull. This is a bull that we, probably one of the last J.D. Hudgens bulls for us to show before we started Heritage Cattle Company. This is the JDH Brian Manso 270, which will be a son of the 949 Bros bull that we showed earlier that's got all the muscling ability and so forth. So then we established Heritage Cattle Company in 1998. So we've been at it right at 20 years right now. And with that, I'm gonna. All right. So this is back in the younger days. This is one of the first animals. This is one of the first animals that we branded. You can see that.
Actually, this is number one. Here's number one. You want to tell them why we started Heritage? Really? From my perspective, we have 3 girls. We really wanted an opportunity to let our girls be involved, just like their grandmother, their great-grandmother, their grandmother before that, and their great-great-grandmother. And it's sometimes, you ladies know, it's hard to be a female in the cattle business. But we wanted to make sure that if that's a choice that they wanted to make later on, that they had the opportunity to do so. We also recognize that the last name changes when girls in the U.S. get married. So instead of naming it Colors Cattle, or we sat around the table for a long time thinking about that, and we thought there's no better word to describe what we do than to say this is our heritage. So there you go, number one.
Perfect. You see, it's those little things, guys, Mike England, it's those little things we overlook and we marry up and they make us. Yeah. So here we are, branding a couple of calves early on. There we are again, that's a little bit later. You can see the brand number 984/6. We generally put the year number on the bottom. That sort of helps guys like me who forget when things are, how old our cows are, and just a good reference. This is the bull that I probably put us on the map the best, and Gustavo Toro's here from Sexy Technologies, and you know, I've been asked several times, well, why did you sell that bull? And that might have been, you know, probably one of the worst mistakes I ever made. We produced Maddox, and just a quick story. Maddox was actually in a pen of bulls that we had for sale. And he's not here, but a good friend of mine from Brazil, Andreas, was here visiting with me. And I said, hey, look, I see these bulls every day. I really need a stable bull to breed later. Would you go? I guess we had 20, 25 bulls out there. These bulls were probably yearlings. And I kind of saw this 684 bull, and he goes, I said, but I didn't give him any heads up or anything, so we were riding through the pasture, and he said, what about that 684 bull? I'm like, you like him? And he goes, yeah, I really like him. Why aren't you showing him? I'm like, I don't know. I thought he was just a little small. You know, they're kind of like bigger ones and stuff. I said, I think you ought to pull him up. So that weekend, we pulled him up and didn't put a halter on him right away, but knew we were going to grow him out. And I ended up sending him on the East Coast with Glenn Cox. Glenn took that bull to Florida and different places, and he did well over there. But when you brought him into Texas, he was a 3rd or 4th place bull. He was just a little stockier, a little shorter made. And I told Juan Marino about this bull. I said, Juan, I think I don't pay much attention to what I was saying. So Juan went to Panama to a good friend of mine, Carlos Lees, and saw a lot of really nice calves out of Maddox. He comes over here to the ranch and says, I want to see that 684 bull. So we made a deal on him. And you guys know Sexy Technologies are all over the world. And their ability to distribute semen was something I could have never done. And so when you travel now, anywhere that's got Brahman cattle, you can probably find Maddox or Maddox influenced cattle at most shows and certainly most breeding herds. So I can't take credit for that promotion, but I'll sure take credit for raising him, because he's put us on the map as a new ranch for sure.
Thank you, Gustavo. He was also one of the first Roman bulls to sort for sex.
Well, I was going to say that, but I don't want to.
Nope.
One of the things that was the main thing for us is that we knew he collected and we knew he processed sex semen. So that was one of the biggest plus, other than he had the whole package, but we knew what he can do in the sorters and the collection arena. So.
And that's a huge added bonus, because not every Brahman bull will sort. We know that.
Can I throw something else in here real quick? There's a big change, and we're going to move faster because we're pushing back Tommy's time. We also started dehorning in that time period. Because our girls were here. If you've walked through our cattle, you know that for us, it's important that our girls be able to work the cattle safely. That was something that we took a big interest in. So we spend a lot of time with the calves now when they're babies, so they're gentle. And most of our cattle, it's a lot easier to call them than it is to push them. But the dehorning was a big part, a decision that we made, if you see a difference in the pictures from before and after.
Yeah, we did that, and then we also started branding on both sides. Because I can't tell you how many times at Hudgens we'd be in an AI group of 40 white heifers, and you're just spinning around trying to get that brand on, but know which one was next to AI. And I knew V8 had success branding on both sides, so I'm like, and I asked Sloan once, I said, why do you brand on both sides? He said, because for sure, I'm gonna mess one side up, and I may get the other side right. And that does happen, it happens here a lot. Arctic Iceman, so this bull was 2005 Show Bull of the Year, 13 Grand Champions. Again, you can tell the difference in the body style at that time. This was a longer, taller type bull, really good on his feet and legs. He's going to go back to the Braxton Bull and then the Double Take Bull, so the Double Take. This is a bull we imported from Guatemala. Our good friends Jose Vega down there at Subucan Ranch. Probably one of the best breeders in all Central America. Probably one of the top 5 breeders in the world, to get right down to it. This is a Carew son. He was one of the first bulls of Carew to start winning. He was 2-time Central America champion. The dam of this is the Union 455 bull that Daddy raised. 2-time reserve national champion bull. Gold Rush, son of the Passport bull and out of Dr. McKinney cow. This bull's done a really good job for us, just medium size, real beefy type bull. It's a red rhino bull that won Houston for us. His claim to fame so far has been that he's the sire of the 8/9 bull of Troy Thibodeau's, that's done so well. And then these are some present day bulls that this bull won Houston in 2015. This is Albertazzi Rojo. Albertazzi's here. Where's Albertazzi? Oh, and you know, and I gotta say that Jose Albertazzi, this bull was named after Jose. He's been a long time friend of mine. And the day we showed that bull, Jose came over and he was laying down, the bull was laying down. Jose touched him on the hip like he was some sort of magician. And he said, this bull's gonna win the show today. And he was right. He did win that day. And he has gone on to produce some tremendous calves. In fact, I was a little hesitant on breeding him right away because I had so many in the herd that were related to him. But when I started to see how much muscle he put on those red Brahman calves, we are loaded, and he reverse sorts, and that's a good bull to breed. This is a young bull, Bubba, that won Houston for us 2 years ago as a calf. He's one that really survived that Hurricane Harvey. My middle daughter, Kristen, gentled him and begged me to put him in the show barn. And I said, no, Kristen, we've got enough reds already. I want to focus on the grays. And she came back home from college and she's like, Dad, you still don't have Bubba in the show barn. And I said, well, I guess I'll put him. I said, we only got three months before Houston starts. And I said, I don't think I can get him ready. Oh, he's gentle. So anyway, long story short, we put him in the show barn, and 3 months later, take him to Houston, and he's grand champion. And Tommy, she had let me forget that. Always listen to the ladies.
And he has some really good calves in the
The
pasture
calves
too,
are
and she reminds you of
real-
that every time
yes,
she drives through.
yes, she does.
She does.
Here's another really good smoking gun son, 2-time division winner in Houston, Oxford Rojo 60404. Bull just adds a lot of rib shape and red meat to his calves, real good feet and legs. He reverse sorts, we're using him pretty heavy right now. Here's a Maddox son. It's probably the most popular Maddox son to date. It's the Elijah Manso 281/2. He was also international grand champion in 2015. A bull that's really producing well. He sired the Explica grand champion this year in Central America, the female, and it's been used in lots of herds. Here's the Oku bull, the bull that's right behind us in this arena. 2-time division winner in Houston. He's sired by Atlas out of the Arctic Ice Daughter. So we're using a lot of him. And here's the Ezekiel bull. This is a bull he's with the great donor cows down in Pen 2. He's sired by the JDH 854 and out of a Double Take Daughter. Grand champion of San Antonio, grand champion of Fort Worth. just a lot of revenue in him.
And one of the answers on the Instagram scavenger hunt. So you guys, I saw
Ah.
you got it right. Good job.
Ah, I didn't know about that. And then this is a breaker bull. This is one we've got in Rosenberg. He won his division last year in Houston as an intermediate. He's out of a V8 960 bull and out of a Liberty Daughter. One of my partners on that bull, Hatch Smith, is here. And we're really excited about this bull. We've got embryos coming. We just transplanted some embryos, 2 weeks ago, Hatch? And reverse sorted on him as well. Just a super powerful bull, medium size. With that, we're going to move into our family.
Actually, you posted on social media that if you RSVP early, you get a prize. Dusty, are you back there? Thank you.
Hey, Dusty. Let's clap for Dusty.
Thank you for coming.
See, I tell you what, that's a family. We're going to talk about our junior program in a while, but that's a family that's been, their kids have come up through our junior program.
My girls will be mad they don't know this picture's in the slideshow. Here's Megan, Kristen, and Aaron. This is when we were building the office. You can see how small they were at the time. That's this office that's right across the street. There's the three girls. And look at one more time. An older picture of Jen and I, because you know you can't put the new ones. You always like the old ones better. Look at one more time. And here are all three girls and our two newest soon-to-be sons. In this picture on the far right, we have Erin. Erin is finishing her master's at A&M, master's in finance, and she's also a CPA. Next in the picture is our oldest daughter, Megan. Megan, wave to the back.
Megan checked everybody in on that career. Yeah.
Megan is a family nurse practitioner. She works for Texas A&M University in College Station. Not one whoop in here at all. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I forgot to say that Erin is in Maddie's business school at A&M. So there you go, another Aggie. Megan works in the health center. She sees students when they're sick. She has a special interest with the international students who come to visit. And mental health. She is developing some programs with the university to address some of the mental health issues that they're starting to see on campus.
I think she flies around the United States more than I do. She just got back from New York. They're taking her to different colleges and getting her to share her experience with what works with students at the Texas A&M campus. So we're grateful that she's got that gift. That's really good.
This nice young man that you met when you came in is Cody. This is Meg's fiance. They'll be getting married in May, and we are super excited to add him to our family.
Need to sell some bulls, guys.
Yeah.
Especially because our third daughter that's in the middle, this was her graduation. She graduated in May with her master's in occupational therapy. She works for the Methodist Hospital System as a hand specialist. If you have problems with hands, she's the girl to help you out. Kristen will be getting married in April. Did you get that? April
Again,
and
guys.
May.
April and May weddings.
Yep.
We'll have a sell in March.
Kristen will be marrying Kale Sloan. We have some of Kale's family here with us today. We love Kale, and we are super excited to have these young men added to our family. One thing we told the girls when they were young is they were going to go to college. They could study whatever they wanted to, but they needed to get a degree and be able to have career options besides just the ranch. We would love for them to come back. We would love for them to take over, but if we don't want that to be their only choice. So we're super proud of all three of our girls. They're smart, hardworking.
Woo! Woo!
And if you see them around, they can all show a bull. They can pretty much pull a calf. For sure, they can give injections. They don't mind cow manure on their shoes, but they also know how to dress up and be a girl. So give them a hug. They're good girls.
This is a celebration of my wife's birthday.
Don't say the number.
29.
Yes.
29. This was about a month ago. We did a little fire in front of the office there. And the girls arranged this, had a real nice birthday for Gail.
And I know I could have gone anywhere and done anything, but this is the place that's the most special. Family, just family, all together. It was the best birthday ever. Okay. And if you have your catalog on the very back cover, we have the list of champions. I'm not going to bore you with that. Hopefully you walk through our show barn. One of our newest projects is putting up some signs. We also have listed inside that cover in the champions some of the kids that show. The junior program, we believe in kids, and we know that the heritage of passing that love on is important. We do a lot of things with kids here. We sell a lot of peppers to kids, and we invite them back. For over 15 years, we've had a show where there's no entry fees. They win prizes. They get to know one another. We also give those kids sometimes scholarships down the road at the All-American every year. In the past, we've had kids camp. I have a really special young lady who has asked, please, Miss Gayla, can we do kids camp again this summer? So, yes, we are planning kids camp 2020.
We are?
Yeah.
I think I need to travel during that.
It's a lot of fun. We spend a couple days doing something fun and something educational about cows. Mostly what our focus is in this program is about families learning how to spend time with each other and families connecting with other families. So our goal as hashtag Team Heritage, that's what we use a lot, is for our families to connect. So if they go to the San Antonio Junior Show and they forgot their show stick, they have an instant friend they know they can go to and they borrow. And we see that a lot, and we love that our families love being together, even when Judd and I and the girls aren't there. And we're going to go fast. We're almost done. Look in your magazine. If you didn't get a Seaman catalog and you'd like one, but there's a page on there that talks about Advanced Brahman Solutions. This is something new, relatively new, that we developed here. Judd's passion, if you can't tell, when he was talking about those bulls, are Brahman cattle. And I'll tell you that he has a really gift for matching them up and breeding them correctly. We also, over the years, have lots of families that have become friends for generations in other countries. And sometimes those newer generations, they want to continue their heritage, but they may not be as familiar with the genetics in the ranch and how they work. So Judd has several countries that he has customers in. He goes there every 6 months. He goes through their herd, and he looks at what they have already invested in, the semen they've invested in from here in the States, and he matches what they have with their cows, so they're happy with their products. Here's just a few of that you probably will recognize some of these faces in the crowd. But for sure, if you travel, if you look at the Brahman Journal, or if you look at Jose Albertazzi's magazine, you'll recognize a lot of these brands. If you follow the Brahman Journal when they list champions at different shows all over the world, just know that somebody probably helped pick that show string and pick out what goes to those shows. He won't tell you that, but I will. I'm pretty proud of you.
Well, we're blessed to be able to work with so many good people, and certainly enjoy that avenue of our business. The performance program, many of you do, record keeping, birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight. This is extremely important, guys, when you're in the seed stock business to have real confidence in your product and to share that with your customers. And then a lot of people want to know how many embryos versus natural calves. We're about 60% embryo calves right now, 40% on our natural side. Here's a kind of a quick overview look at our future of Heritage Cattle Company. Something that we stop and do as a family is we kind of have family meetings, and we want to know which direction are we going to move in. And so we feel like we want to be more involved in the commercial sector here in the United States. Some people look at our ranch as a place to buy show cattle, and certainly enjoy selling show cattle. But I think the commercial aspect of it, raising good commercial bulls, is something we can expand on. And then we want to enlarge the heritage herd. Seems like every year we've been fortunate enough to pretty well sell out every year of our bulls and heifers. So we're looking to expand the herd, and as the girls graduate and get off of the, we don't have to pay as much in tuition and so forth, we're able to keep more cattle and have more product. And then expanding to more countries with heritage genetics. And I think that's true with the Brahman breed as a whole. I think we're always looking for those new hot spots that need our genetics in our Brahman cattle. So with that being said, we want to thank our.
I want to do an Instagram winners, scavenger hunt winners, Miss Callie Nancy. And did you have a team that helped you with that? Or were you by yourself?
Do you want to give anybody else credit? You do. Okay, I want to just name them.
Avonlea and Lily, they helped like a lot. So we were walking through the show barn. We found the 2005 reserve champion, and we're like, this is it, this has to be it. And then we were walking through, like, wait, this is the 2005 champion. And so we found it, and we're like, oh my goodness, we missed it like 4 times. So,
Found the wrong horse.
yes, we found the wrong horse. We went into the office, we were looking around, we found the race horse. We thought that would have been like the
Yeah,
new stepping
that's a
horse.
good one.
And then we were in here shopping, and they were like, yep, this is it. So.
Well, congratulations, girls. Thank y'all for participating. Give them a round of applause there. Yeah, so we're gonna take just a minute to think of the vendors. And again, you know, it's as a ranching family, a lot of people want to know, well, who do you use for this and that? And these guys are friends of ours, but we also do business with them. I want to start over here first with well, I don't want to start with Ace. I want to end with Ace. We're going to start over here with Schulte Farm Services. The Schulte family is from Brenham, Texas. They are in the Brahman cattle business as well as the commercial sector. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but one of the big key parts to being successful in any business is input costs, right? I mean, we all know the most expensive product that we put out there every day, or when we do it, is our feed cost. And so I think it's really important that you look at what you're feeding, try to figure out how much feed versus game that you're putting out there in front of them. And we have found what we think is a gold mine for us as a program, and is because the Schulte family is proven this feed over a period of time. I've got with us Mike and Casey Schulte. This is their display over here. And they do custom ration. Well, they do their own ration. They've got a growing ration. They've got a feed ration. They've got range cubes, just a range meal, just a number of products here that they have used themselves. And then they're willing to share that their knowledge and their expertise and their feed rations with the public. Mike, can I ask you a couple of questions here real quick? So one of my favorite feeds is this Show Beef Starter Grower. That's the one I buy the most from you. Is that right? The grower. And so this grower, you can normally see my truck and trailer pass through every Monday and load up some feed there in Brenham. And Mike has used this successfully on his own cattle. Mike, tell me about, you do some backgrounding, you buy some cattle, commercial cattle, and you've proven this feed.
Right. We started, we were in preconditioning cattle and started buying quite a bit of feed, and just decided that we needed to make our own feed to be able to earn the profits, but also get a consistent feed and get the performance that we were wanting. So we developed the grower ration and used it probably for about 12 years now on stocker calves. We use it on our bulls. We use it on all our weaning calves and heifers. Creep feed, just use it for a little bit of everything. It's a good all-around feed, and the cattle love to eat it. and we don't have any trouble with getting cattle started on the feed. But the cattle perform really well on it, and it's a really reasonable price feed.
And I'll tell you, when he says the cattle like it, they love it. Mine actually look forward, like, especially the show cattle. And you know, sometimes, Kelvin, you guys that show cattle and they get bulls up to 2 years old, Mr. Sam will know this. Sometimes they get a little sore mouth when they're losing those teeth, and those bigger, grainier type feeds can sometimes cause inflammation in their gums. This is a real soft feed. It's a really, really loose feed. And I've had bulls that are a little sore mouth on one ration, and I've switched them over, and boy, they eat like there's, you know, just as much as you'll put out there in front of them. But the other side of it is that you can actually feed this product at about a 1.5% to 2% of the body weight, and you can get all the gain you want. I know with some feeds you got to feed up to 3%, but I know with our cattle, about 1.5% or 2% is where I like to be on the gains. And then he's got these other products. Just real quick, tell us about your range cubes there.
The Energy Max range cubes, we bag them and branded them ourselves. They're 28% protein, 8% fat DDG cube. They're all natural. And the high fat energy in there, whenever we feed our cows, it makes them milk a lot better. Really keeps them going forward in the wintertime and gives them the energy to go out and hustle some other forages. Then we have the show cattle ration, which is a finisher ration that we developed it when we were feeding steers with our kids for the county fairs and the major shows, and we did real well on that feed with our steers. And then we went ahead and we wanted to get something for our show heifers to put more middle in them to keep them fat, but we developed the show beef starter grower ration, and it's a real high fiber ration with 12% protein, but cattle went to it real well. We have some yeast enzymes in there. Also, we add Rumensin to that feed. And then we have a range meal. It's a 20% protein and it's 25% salt. And just something to keep out there for the cows, just to help supplement them through the winter or whenever the forage is a little bit poor in protein or that. But we make them all fresh, and I think the key to the feed is keeping the feed fresh. And like when Judd comes, normally we'll either have his feed made the day before or the day he comes, and he gets it, it's a day old, and it's got some shelf life to it, and I really believe that that's a lot to do with the cattle liking it so much, because some of the other major brand feeds might sit in a warehouse or sit in a feed store, you know, it might be 2 or 3 weeks old, and what he's getting is 1 or 2 days old, and it's really fresh, and I really believe that contributes to the cattle liking it so much.
Perfect. Well, you guys make your way around here in a minute. We'll, I want to just kind of ease around here. We've got a good friend of mine, Kyle Smith, is over here that does a lot of woodwork. He actually builds houses and remodels and things, but he specializes in cabinets. He's got some beautiful woodwork over here for you to look at that he's created. Appreciate Kyle being here. He's one of these guys that well, you can call on him and he can do anything. You know, I'm so limited on what I can do. I can have an idea, but just putting it in place is sometimes hard for me. Kyle, thanks for being here. Y'all get over here and look at his cutting boards and so forth. We do have Christmas time coming up, folks, so we don't want to forget about that. Right here, a lot of people say, well, Judd, who does your cattle contracts? Well, she's right here in front of me. Audrey Smith does a fantastic job representing us. She also specializes in some things. I'll get her to tell you just a little bit about what she does.
Hi everyone. I practice mostly agricultural law, anything involving real estate, oil and gas. I won't spend too much time talking about it, but I'm happy to visit with you for a minute if you have any questions. As Judd said, anything involving cattle I can help with generally, whether it's selling, ownership, whatever you might have going on. I work with a firm of, I think, 8 attorneys now, so Shay with our office is over at the check-in desk. You can visit with him as well, but we can help you in almost anything you need.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. We'll just move right on around the room here and we'll give everybody a chance. I've got a really cool interview coming up with Ace Sloan, calf roper, that many of you know about. You've seen on TV lots of times. We're going to interview him in just a second. This is the hot spot here for Heritage Gear. Again, we want stocking stuffers, got some things coming up. Weddings, did I say weddings? But anyway, there's some stuff here available. Don't forget to sign in here. If you want to be added to our email list, Kayla puts out a really nice email once a month. And then we're going to move right on over. Oh, we've got D&D here with us. We got Mr. Jake here with us with that nice aluminum fader sitting outside. So you guys have a look. D&D in Seguin.
Kale's dad is also.
Oh, Keaton Sloan also is responsible for bringing that trailer to us today. We got over here the dancing pony. I don't know if you've seen any ponies dance recently, but we've got some ponies to dance over here in the corner. Some beautiful attire here. You ladies, you men that need to buy some, get some extra points. Look through these accessories. There's some really nice clothes here. They're located in New Braunfels, Texas, right there on the square. They've been at it a long time. Some beautiful things, Kaylee and Jan. Thank y'all for being here and being a part of this. And of course, Ranch House Designs. Many of you already use Ranch House Designs, but our own Rachel Cotrier owns this business. These ladies are here with us today. Can you tell me your name, please?
Kristen Davis.
Leighton Sashery.
All right, y'all don't forget about this table over here. Anything that has to do with advertising, they can handle it for you. I mean, they're world class. Everybody knows them. We got our kids corner right over here, and Miss Diane is here helping. If you hadn't got a chance to color or make some crafts, Mike England, you might want to color something. I don't know. You're getting distracted up there.
I love the color.
And while Joe is walking over there to talk to Ace, because I think that's what's coming up next, in case you didn't realize, Rachel Cotrier, anybody know who Rachel Cotrier is named after? Oh, come on, not school, you're disappointing the school teacher. Rachel Ann Northington. Rachel and Judge share the same great-grandmother. So there you go.
Yeah, the
okay,
little
your
trivia.
turn with Ace.
All right, so what I want to mention real quick, Sloan Saddles and Leather Goods. They're down there in Pueblo, Texas. You've got Ace here with us. I want to just do a quick, I'm excited about this. First time I've met Ace Sloan. I mean, I've heard about him, obviously, but I've got him with us here today. We're going to have a little quick, let me give you an overview on Ace here. Ace, thanks for being here today. He's the son of a 7-time Towdown roping qualifier to the National Finals Rodeo, the 1994 NFR Average Title winner. His family owns and operates Todd Sloan Saddles Incorporated. Ace began making a name for himself shortly after graduating high school, winning consecutive 2008-2009 Cowboy Professional Rodeo Association of the Year Tie-Down roping titles. He won his collegiate region as a freshman and represented Texas A&M in his freshman and sophomore years before beginning competing professionally. In 2010, at the Junior Texas A&M, Ace was ranked 8th in the world standings with a strong chance of making his first national finals rodeo with a torn ligament in his knee. He still finished as the top rookie and took home both the Resist All Tie-Down Rookie of the Year as well as the Resist All-Around Rookie of the Year titles. That's good? Yeah. Okay. Ace, come up here, sit beside me for a minute, if you don't mind, and I just want to get your story. We got another microphone in here.
Got it right here.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh, so Kristen's fiance, Kale Sloan, and Ace are cousins, and so that has brought Kale kind of into our life. I mean, Ace into our lives and gotten us to know him as well. What I like about Ace is that he's been a guy that just continues to give back. And he's got some YouTube videos, and he's got some youngsters out there that want to learn how to rope. He's got some excellent educational videos. You want to tell us a little bit about that, Ace?
Sure, I help a lot of kids around that live close. I had a lot of people come and rope with me. There was a time I was doing a website, and that's all I was doing was helping kids. Well, while I was rodeoing professionally, they'd send me videos and stuff. So I do help a lot of people with their roping. I haven't been able to rope as much lately. Haven't had the horses to go down the road, so I've been more involved with the saddle business and started making some of my own stuff, belts and other different things. So this is my daughter Ava, my wife Allie.
Let's give them a round of applause, Ace. you don't know what it's like to travel with kids and run a business, and you'll really appreciate Ace being here today.
We're excited to be here. It's fun to get out of the shop. We're so used to traveling so much.
And Ace has got a dummy set up in the back. We've got it stuck to a square bale of hay. He'll throw a loop or two for you if you want to learn. Maybe just get some tricks of the trade.
Sure, yeah. You just want to rope the dummy with me. That's what I do for fun anyway, so.
Yeah, right here behind the barn. You can go out this door here in a minute, or go out this door and make your way to the back, and he might show you a pointer or two. Ace, appreciate you being here with us. Go check out these saddles. You don't even have to own a horse to own a saddle, okay? They're that good. They're that good.
Yeah, and we've got some other things too. Of course, the belts. We've got a few different belts on display. We can customize anything. But also the sign that I made. Since I started working on saddles, I've done I've learned a lot about the different processes to make the tooled leather look nice, whether it's the antiquing or the different dyes and the different colors and all that. And so I started to look at it as artwork, but nobody ever has leather artwork in their house. So my wife and I just recently moved, and that was one of the first things I did was build a big piece for that says the Sloan family that we're going to hang on the wall. So you don't have to be involved in riding or roping or anything like that. If you wanted us to kind of design something with your brand or with family names, any kind of customized anything we could do. We could do whatever it was, and we'd enjoy making something for you to hang on your wall or whatever you could envision. We'd love to do it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to move in real quick. I'll take your microphone. I'll let you hold the baby. And I want to mention, thank you, Ace, for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I want to mention we have with us today Dr. Joe Mast. Dr. Joe Mast recently was hired as our Executive Vice President of the American Brahma Breeders Association. And man, I tell you what, Joe, we needed you. And I appreciate your willingness to step up and serve. You know, you always want one of those people who have a job and they're not looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? That's Joe Mast. Joe Mast has been successful in every aspect of his life, in his career, and to be able to just walk in there and tap into him and get him to join us. Somebody got him fooled, but anyway, we hope everything works out. We're glad to have you here. Look forward to working with you in the future. We've got a drawing. We've got some drawings. We've got some prizes we're going to give away, and then we're going to move into our keynote speaker. This is Lily Boyd, our princess. Let's give Lily a round of applause for being here. The number is, everybody check your numbers, 248 182. Oh, right up there on top. Oh, Quattro, he's a winner. He might want a different color. He's got a blue one on his head. All right, we go again? Yes. Okay. So, make it fair.
Two, 4, 8, 2, 2, 9.
229, that's right.
Hello, well come on in. Well, I didn't see you, Jessica. How about that? All the way from Louisiana. Good to have you here. All right, we're good there. Well, without further ado here, we've got Dr. Tommy Perkins here to visit with us today. And the only thing I can say is that I wish I would have met Tommy years ago. I haven't known him that long, but I can tell you that meeting him recently and his wife Rhonda, I think the world of this guy. And he has touched a lot of lives as a professor. He's taught collegiately for 20 years. He's been involved with the Beefmaster Association as well as the Brangus Association. And now he's gone back to West Texas A&M, where he oversees the CAP program, as well as mentors a lot of the professors and students there. And he's with his better half, Rhonda, and let's give him a great round of applause, and I want to welcome him to Heritage.
I'll do my best. All right, right, Miss Raymond? I don't give a I teach genetics class, got 122 students in there. You can imagine 122 genetic students trying to learn about the Brahman horn gene. And I heard Dale say they're going to try to get horns off these cattle, dehorn them off. We'll just bring them off. We'll show genetically how to do that, all right? So, now I do want to surprise Judge just a little bit. Dr. Joe Pascal talked to me about this, and he said the cool thing about this field day is the guest speaker, the keynote speaker, is going to leave at the end of the day with the Sloan-built saddle. Compliments of. So, Mr. Sloan, thank you very much. I don't know if Judge is expecting that, but that's what Dr. Pascal said, so I can only think that's what's going on, all right? To the right. All right, I'll do my very best to get that done then. Let's give the colors a round of applause for a really good field day. A great opportunity to learn about the history of the family, the history of the cattle. I can't tell you, and I apologize, I move around a lot when I talk, I apologize for that, but I just like to walk around and give the crowd, so that's what I'm going to do. Anyone seen this picture up here? Everybody likes to show Brahman cattle, don't they? You go to Houston, you're overwhelmed with the amount of Brahman cattle. Let me give you compliments to the association. You are world class when it comes to exhibiting cattle. You're world class in getting these young kids prepared to go to the next level. When I see them at the college level, I appreciate what you did to them on the show screen. And that show world, I really appreciate that. The other thing you guys do right, because I'm here really just to brag about Brahman cattle. Brahman cattle are really what I'm here for, and I'm going to tell you a lot of good things about the Brahman breed. Because I've been to, I think, 15 different countries now. And on those 15 countries I've traveled around, you guys are in Paraguay, right? Paraguay, I think I saw the best Brahman cattle I've ever seen in my life. And Judge probably going to have to remind me of which bull this was that the Brazilian found in the pasture. Maddox? Was Maddox a little moderate framed, wide made? So I went to Paraguay. Those cattle were the most moderate framed, widest made, most muscular, the soundest group of Brahman cattle I thought I'd ever seen. And then I go to Thailand, and it is the hottest place I've ever been in my life. Anybody been to Thailand? Dang, I've never sweated so much as I did in Thailand. I thought, my goodness, no wonder those people don't get very tall. It's so hot they can't get tall there because it is tough. But they had some really good Brahman cattle. I went to the Kunga Brahman Association. I actually went to Venezuela. Saw some really good Brahman cattle in Venezuela as well. So as I've been around the country, I've seen lots of cattle. And now I've moved north. I live in the Panhandle. It's extremely cold there. My wife hates the wind in the Panhandle. So if you've been to Amarillo, you know the wind blows there. She hates it. What do you think they call me in the Panhandle? It's Angus country. Angus cattle everywhere. They look at this, oh, that dang Brahman guy again. That Brahman guy's going to try to push Brahman cattle on us. Do you think that's what I'm going to try to do? I am going to try to do that to you, okay? And I'm going to give you reasons why I'm going to do that today. Why? Because Brahman cattle, and I guess I probably should have opened this with a prayer for Dr. Joe Mass. I've had that position for 11 years. And I would ask y'all to give him a prayer. Every morning you wake up and you pray, say a nice little prayer for Joe Mass. Because he's going to need it the first 2 or 3 years, and then it's going to get a lot better for him, I promise you. It'll level out after about 2 years, I promise you. So, but Brahman cattle, if you get out into the cattle industry, how many of you believe that it is a hot, humid environment in the world? How many of you believe in global warming? Oh, go ahead and raise your hand. It was 8 degrees in Canyon, Texas not long ago. It warmed up to 9 by about 10 o'clock that morning. Okay, it gets cold. It is cold. When we look around the country, how many of us need Brahman cattle? Anybody have a guess? I think if I look on the Brahman website, it says that 40% of the cattle in the United States are Brahman cattle, or Brahman influenced cattle. I think it's higher than that. 40%. If I go around the country, I bet I can move that up to about 60, 65%. Need Brahman influenced cattle. So if we truly only have 40% Brahman influenced cattle in the United States, we better get it to 60% in a hurry. Because you see what's going on in the Angus world? Everybody followed Angus? They used to register 300,000 head of cattle per year. That thing is slowly going down. It's a downtrend. Who is selling bulls instead of Angus bulls? What breed's getting those bulls? Hereford bulls. We're seeing Hereford bulls uptick. Now then, what is the problem they're doing there? They're missing out on one thing, heterosis. They're not getting maximum heterosis by using this Angus and this Hereford cross. And I promise you, to get that back, they're going to have to put Brahman influenced cattle back in their breeding. If they don't do it, and I went and checked 361 cows in New Mexico a week ago. 361 cows, and 22% of them were open. How many are going to stay in the business with having 361 Angus cows and 20% open? Hard to stay in the business, right? I checked some cows, I promise you, where Frank scored 9 cows that had no way to be pregnant. They didn't have an ounce of Brahman influence in at all. They did not look like this right here. They did not, and I had a guest lecturer come to my class from JBS Five Rivers Feeders. And what do you think he told my students? He said, we buy all these cattle, we don't pay a premium for anything unless it's straight necked. I really didn't know what he meant. Do you guys know what it means when a feeder is out there looking for cattle, says he's only buy straight neck cattle? I had no idea what it meant. Dr. Master, you know what it means by straight neck cattle? New term to me as well. He wants no hump on these cattle. And that's what he told my students. He wants no hump on these cattle. And then I went to some of their feed yards. What kind of cattle do you think in their feed yards? They have at least 3/8 Brahman influence in those feed yards, in those cattle. Why are they putting Brahman influence in those cattle? They know they'll be feed efficient, they'll gain like crazy, they will put pounds on. And that's what you guys have done an excellent job with. You have put some grow in these cattle will be efficient at it, and they can work in those feed environments we put them in. Now I'm going to scold you on some things today too that Dr. Mass is going to have you work on in the future, will be my guest, that I want you to concentrate on, and we've got to do a little better job. Because I've already praised you for the youth program, the show program, and really putting cattle out there that the industry needs. We're looking to you. We're looking for Brahman genetics, and we count on you to get it right. It can't just be about the show ring. It can't just be about the kids. It's got to be about all of them. So let's talk about all those things when you get it right. This is a beautiful cow, isn't she? It's even a better calf. How valuable is that heifer calf aside? She's worth a ton of money. How about this one? How many want a pen full of those? I'll take them all day long. Right? I can take them here. I can send them to Missouri. I lived in Missouri for about 15 years. People don't think that cow works. That cow works beautiful in Missouri. We can't have a frame score 7-8 type cow in Missouri usually, but they've got to eat a lot of grass like your cows do here. This cow works I don't care where you take them. And I'm going to show you a slide here in just a minute where you'll say, well, maybe it doesn't work. But this cow flat out works. You guys keep making good Brahman genetics so we can keep producing these kind of cows. And there's enough Hereford cows out there that we can Brahman bulls. Producing a lot of these good Brahman bulls for us. We're going to talk about a little bit about heterosis and really what it is. So I'm probably going to need some audience help right here. Let's go with my paralytic friend. Come here, young man. I want you right over here. Right here. How tall are you? How tall? My estimate is more poquito, señor. No sabía español. Oh, he gave me his weight. Okay, so we're going to go up his weight. Okay, so we're going to go weight. He weighs 175. And bring my wife over here. Rhonda, step up over here. They're going to have a child together. Oh, you got to stay. You got to stay. I'm not going to tell you what she weighs, but it's something way less than 175 pounds, all right? So if we make these two together, and let's just say that she weighs 100 pounds. 100 pounds plus 175 pounds, what should they weigh, their offspring weigh when they get done? You maybe got the calculators. Divide 75 by 2, is that 3750? So 137.50 pounds. Stand up here, young man. Look what they produced. My God, what do you weigh? 205 pounds of lean, mean muscle right here. Okay, that's what heterosis is right there. We can take two of a different kind and we can make heterosis. That's what you guys do, produce these Brahman influence cattle, give us all this growth. Thank you guys, I appreciate y'all helping there. That's exactly what heterosis is, and that's what we're looking for in the industry. The good thing about it is heterosis comes from the value of not just paternal, it comes from maternal. So Brahman cows give us a really good set of cows. We love the maternal side of that thing, and I'll show you some things that happen maternally. If we take all the traits together, we get a pretty big boost in all of those. Some traits we get a huge boost in. I'll show you slides in a minute that shows you why we get such a boost in these cattle. But a large net positive cumulative effect we have to have in the industry, and I'm going to show you why. We can improve calving rate by 3.7%. I'm telling you, these Angus cows that are out there right now, they're the heaviest weight cow, mature cow we have in the industry today. About 1,600 pounds average mature cow weight for a commercial Angus cow, if you can believe that. Surviving to weaning, 1.5% increase. Weaning weight, 3.9% increase because again, heterosis just like we showed. Longevity. Why is longevity important? Because of Brahman influence. How many of you have 20-year-old cows on your place? 15-year-old cows on your place? 12-year-old cows on your place? If I'm a Western Angus breeder, what can I say? Yeah, I got one 10-year-old cow on my place. The rest of them are 6 and 7 years old. They've got to replace those cows all of the time because they have no longevity. You bring longevity to us, and that 38% is a significant number. We increase the number of calves on lifetime of the cow because of you bringing this heterosis to us, right? Excellent. We need those. This is what we've been doing. Anybody been guilty of this right here? You've been selected for average daily gain, weaning weight, yearling weight. I'm going to be a little picky on this in just a minute. You haven't concentrated enough on this, but the Angus boys have feed efficiency, weaning color. Black is everything, right? If you got a black steer, they're going to be worth a lot more money because they're going to model, right? That's what they say in the industry. Is that true? Probably not. This is what we should be looking at. They ignored it. How many generations of black Angus bulls can you put out there? My gosh, they've been 12, 15 years of doing this. Now it's caught up with them, and they've lost all of these good things that we've got here. So when that guy says I only buy straight-necked calves, I'm telling you, when you go to his feed yard, he's buying Brahman influence calves. He has very little morbidity. He has very little mortality. He knows what he's doing. He's buying them cheap from you. You've got to keep him from doing that. We're going to talk about how to do that in just a minute. This is what the Angus guys have done to us, and this is what the show ring will do to you if you don't watch out. Be careful. Okay? If we look at this side, every time if we need to get more pounds of growth, what do? Well, we better creep feed the calves. That'll help mom out. They'll get bigger, right? We get them to the feed yard. We better feed on these calves now. We're not going to stalk them. We're going to feed them these calves and get them to grow. Every time they've got a snotty nose, you're out there vaccinating them. You're giving them something to make them better. These are all cosmetic. Okay? They're not truly all genetics by environment. We've got to get away from that. We've got to quit doing this and make the cattle be cattle. Fortunately, the Brahman cattle, you already do a really nice job of getting that accomplished. Okay? Now then, anybody seen that picture? Man, when I lived in Missouri, we had to look at this picture. And seriously, they would send, and Brahman cattle will work in Minnesota, won't they? Don't send them there in January. Send them there in July, and they can acclimate. Okay? But is that where we really want our cattle? We probably want our percentage Brahman cattle going up there to Minnesota. So let's be careful, because I can turn this picture around and put an Angus bull in there. And I figured Angus bull, and I send him to South Texas, Miss England, where's that Angus bull going to be?
Either in a water trough or under a shade tree.
That's right. He is not going to get out of the shade tree. If he does, he's going to water. And he's going to lay and swim in the water. He is not going to drink the water. So I can turn that picture around. So we have to be a little careful how we do those kinds of things for sure. Okay? So let's be realistic when we get this done. But we have got to increase the amount of Brahman influence cattle in these herds out in the, and I'm talking about commercial herds. Okay? Anybody seen that cow? I kind of stole it off the website here. So, which one is more important, the cow or the carcass? I've spent 25 years of my career doing ultrasound work. I ultrasound cattle, I measure for ribeye size, and I want to increase marbling in cattle. Is that important if I don't have a good cow? Not important whatsoever. We're going to have to do both of these guys. Fertility is the most important. This is what this breed does. You bring us fertility. We will have fertile individuals. You bring us longevity. You're going to be there a long time. But do we need to worry about the other component? I'm here to tell you, yes, we do. And I'm going to scold you just a little bit. What are these guys do? These are Angus cattle, right? What have they done? They have done an outstanding job of chasing carcass attributes. They registered 300,000 head of cattle, and every one of them had a marbling score, an ultrasound ribeye score. How many of you in this room can tell me and raise your hand that you actually ultrasound all of your cattle? Every yearling on your place gets ultrasounded. Probably not many of you are going to raise your hand. Why not? You're giving the industry a reason not to give you full price for your cattle. You're not letting your genetics work in your favor because I know you have cattle that will do this. Don't paint yourself in this corner. Okay, you got to get out of that corner, but you can do it. I also stole this one. Now let's see if I maybe went one too fast. Right here. How many of you like EPDs? That's like speaking a foreign language to my students. They don't understand EPDs. Expected project difference. It's a simple thing. It's looking at two numbers and comparing numbers. One cow's numbers versus another cow's number and making a selection decision. And I just picked this one off of Heritage Cattle Company, and you can look at these. It's kind of hard to see. She's top 12% for milk here, looks like 40% for yearling, top 2% for marbling, top 10% for ribeye area. Okay? So it tells me that I've got tools out there I can make selection pressure and still have a champion in the show ring, but also put pressure on some of these things that the commercial industry is really needing. So I ask you to look at those kind of things. Can anybody look at that ribeye ultrasound? Does it look like a ribeye steak in there? Right, it does, doesn't it? Pretty much everybody here can see this ribeye steak here, right? Does it look just like the one over here? Do you think the technology is sound? If you want to increase ribeye size, ultrasound technology does a really good job with a good technician. Why are not everyone in this room not doing this? I challenge you, you've got to be doing this. If you're not measuring this on your cattle yearly, you're behind and the industry is asking you, they're begging you, they're pleading to you. Please do this because when I have a Brahman breed, a guy won't buy a Brahman bull, what's the first thing he tells me? I need to have marbling in those bulls. I don't want to hurt my marbling in my Angus commercial cows. Can you answer that question for him? I challenge you as a breed association, we've got some of the leaders here, breed association, put some of those pressures on your breeders to at least do this. Okay? A really interesting thing, and I would love to work with the association there at West Texas A&M University. I've scanned enough of these Brahman cattle. Does anybody know where Brahman cows put fat? Where do you think they deposit fat in their body? I told you, you can't answer it, right? Brahman cattle don't put fat over their ribs. I can measure a Brahman cow, and she'll have whatever, let's say she's got a 10th inch fat over her rib. She'll have at least twice that in her rump. That's what these cows do a really good job doing. They put it away from these heat centers in their body, and they store it somewhere else. And if they don't have those heat stores, that fat in the rump, they don't get pregnant, right? That's how they maintain fertility. And I employ the Breed Association to share some of that data with a graduate student of mine, and let's look at this. And can we start identifying some easy marker traits for you to improve selection? And I think rump fat is a really good, and you guys haven't done a good enough job of collecting the data on it, okay? Because I know that we can successfully measure ribeye size when you're increasing muscle. A lot of you guys can see that, but I really implore you to look at the marbling and the other side of that. Good bull, bad bull. Somebody liked him, he was a champion at some point, right? Does the bull matter? Phenotype matters, right? What's the biggest buzzword with the Angus Association right now? They are looking to fix feet and leg problems. They're looking for you guys to fix feet and leg problems. If you're going to fix feet and leg problems, how are you going to do it as a breed? Pretty simple. You put a big old foot on them, you put a really big bone structure on there, and you put a pretty straight leg on them. So I'm going to caution some of you. When you start looking at cattle, make sure those pasterns, make sure we don't get too much flex in those. I can tell you that the Beastmaster breed has got some issues there. They've got too much flex in those cattle. They become what I call coon foot, like a raccoon. They get too much flex, so be careful. Angus has the same problem. You guys do a really good job of putting a really big bone, big foot. Angus breed needs you. Keep selecting cattle that are sound of feet and legs. You do a really good job there. How about this bull? I think Judge just showed a picture of him, didn't he? Really nice red bull, got a lot of muscle in that bull. How many of you are DNA testing? One? Anybody else? Two? Three? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, having been with two other breed associations, I apologize to you as a breed. We do not have good DNA testing capabilities for you as a breed. Why? Partly it's your fault, part is because you don't have enough numbers that the DNA companies will do what they need to do for you. Do not buy Angus technology and try to run it on your Brahman cattle. You're just throwing money away when you do that. Okay, so if it is a DNA test specific to Angus cattle, there's no reason for you to run it on your cattle. Dr. Raluca Matejewski from the University of Florida has done quite a bit of research in this area now. And again, through the association, Raluca and myself would love to go through some of your data and look at some of these kind of things. But do not use Brangus data, or Angus data. It will not help you. I would really, if I were you, I would use the Brangus DNA tools. You've got a better chance of actually helping you select cattle in the future. And I'm talking about other things than this. How many of you parent verify with your DNA? I'm guessing the two that raise their hand probably use it for parent verification, right? Okay. Is every animal produced in the Brahman breed parent verified? They're not. Is there any reason why they're not? It costs you $25 to figure that out. And if all of you would do it, I promise you to get it down to about $18. $18. Look at this slide. 7 to 10% of purebred cattle are misidentified to a parent. And it's usually to a sire. Does anybody believe that? I work 2 breed associations now, and I promise you it's 7 to 10%. It didn't matter if I was a beef master, I was Brangus, this is what we have. And if I go in and I test a subset of your cattle, am I going to find the same thing? I'm pretty confident we're going to see about the same thing in Brahman cattle. Why does that happen? Is it because you got all these cheaters and these crooks out here?
Not necessarily.
No, that's not what goes on at all. We've got bulls that will jump 14 fences to get to a cow. Or we've got a heifer that will jump 3 fences to get to a bull. And then what do after they conceive and they get bred? They go back to their home pasture. You never even knew that. That may have taken a whopping 3 hours while you were asleep. So it's not that breeders are doing it wrong intently, okay? But we've got tools available now that you can test it. There's no reason that you sell any registered cattle today that are not parent verified, in my opinion. It's a little harder on the association. Dr. Massey's going to have to hire a full-time person to do this. This is where we're at right now. I'm guessing you guys are using microsatellites, and I'll show you why we want to move away from those in just a minute and move into single nucleotide polymorphism. We just get a better test, and it's actually cheaper to do that. So this is what most of you are used to using. This is what the association, and again, I haven't looked at your data closely enough. I'm guessing you have a database full of these markers right here. And if you count it across there, we use about 9 markers is about what we use. 9 markers to tell you where it's parent verified or not. That accuracy is not great. It's about 70%. I hate to tell you that, but that's about what it is. Okay? So if I use 9 of these, it says the sire qualified, the dam qualified, I put them together, and it qualified as a mate. And that's what you want to see as a breeder. Now the problem is we move to single SNP technology. Now then look what we've got. So I learned this the hard way. We went with 96 of them with Beefmaster and Brangus. We found out we were misidentifying cattle. Brahman, we need to go to 220 markers. You have that available to you. You do not have to use the USDA 96 markers right here because you will misidentify some parents. Go to the 220 markers which both DNA companies will give you today, and we're going to look at all of these different markers out there. For every 1 microsatellite, you need 10 SNPs. I just said you use 9 microsatellites, so how many SNP markers do you need to be equivalent? 90. 9 times 10 is 90. I just told you you've got 200 available. That's actually 220 available. How accurate is your DNA parent test now? 99.9% accurate. It can tell the difference between full brothers. Put 10 full brothers out there, flush mates, and it'll pick them out with 220 markers. Okay? You have the technology, you've got to get it done, and this technology is cheaper. But the breeders are going to have to help get this done. All of these, the history that we just learned today, those old bulls, that DNA needs to be pulled and resampled on new technology. That's going to help you move forward and get some of these done. So across the association, a few things. This slide here is prepared for a reason. I've asked you as a breed to do some things better on the commercial side, collect some carcass data, do some DNA work. Because every time I go and I look at a set of data, and this is a set of real data that came out of Superior Livestock, and you go down through here and you see what happened to these kids right here. $168 per hundredweight, and it says Brahman influence. Were those cattle worth 100, well, in this case here, were they worth $5 less per 100 weight? They made somebody some money. They bought them cheap, and they made some money. And again, I go throw it back to you as breeders of Brahman cattle. You've got to do a better job of selling your product, not just the female on the heterosis side, but do a better job of collecting carcass data and DNA, and we're going to wipe this $5 out. Because they're doing it on purpose to you right now because they can do it, and you have no data to back it up. Once you get the data, you can back this up, and they're going to buy those cattle all day long. So, and the same thing you find in the heifers. That was the steer calves. This is the heifers. Exactly the same thing going on. They discount you because they can. They know they're going to make money on those cattle, unfortunately. So kind of ended up, can we have it all? You can have it all, I promise you. Because I went from one breed association that did some things right, but they're kind of like you guys. They didn't focus hard enough on the ribeye size and the marbling. Okay, they're sold as great females, but they didn't get to the next level. I went to another breed. They ain't been on the same cattle since 1992. And if I want to find a 24-inch ribeye bull in their breed, I promise you I can find it. If I want to find a bull in their breed that will give me high choice and prime cattle, I promise you I can find it. But they've been standing cattle since 1992 collecting that data. So again, I implore you to make sure you do that because you're doing all of this incredible. You're doing this incredible here. You're making great cows, but we've got to put a little more pressure here so you're more relevant in the commercial industry. They're begging you because they need your genetics is what they need. So just as a closing summary slide here, everybody knows heritability, or when we talk about how heritable a trait is, reproduction is lowly heritable, right? So if I want to improve reproduction, what do I have to do? Is it straight breed cattle? Use crossbreeding. That's what the industry is looking for. They're right here right now. They've bred 10, 12, 15 generations of Angus. They are looking for your cattle because they're going to get a big kick in reproduction traits, longevity traits. Okay, so they're asking for you to help them get there, and that's the kind of the real reason why that happens. Again, I'm just going to put a few pictures up there. Y'all have done a phenomenal job of giving me these replacement females. And we'll pay a premium for those replacement females usually, okay? But do not forget that they do produce steers. There's a set of steers out here that do matter, okay? The industry thinks you have a tough product. Anybody believe that? No. You've got some tough ones, but every other breed does too. They're out there, okay? So we've been using a DNA test for tenderness. You guys use it, Brangus use it, Beefmaster use it. It was made for Angus cattle. Dr. Raluca Matejewski of Florida has determined that the tests that they're using don't work on Brahman or Brahman-influenced cattle. She's found some other identifiers that do a better job of measuring tenderness. So you've been getting discounted and a black eye because of that falsely over all these years. So we've got steer calves in here. You need to feed those calves out. You need to ultrasound those calves. You need to collect some carcass data on those calves. It needs to go to the association. It needs to go to a university so it can help you identify and go through all this data you've collected and make your cattle better because you do such a great job of breeding these awesome cattle. We've got to have you in the industry. So give us a little bit of help there. Let's give a round of applause to the Judge family again. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Students, if you're looking for University of West Texas, I'm so fortunate to be there. We're the largest department